All right, guys, so next up we have the D-Series Pro. Now these are floodlights that I'm going to use as my chase lights. These are the same ones as the DSS Pro minus the side shooting LED. I picked floodlights for my chase lights so they're not going to be blinding somebody behind me if they have to follow. It'll just fill the area with light. And so anyway, let's unbox these and take a look at them. There they are. Beautiful. Yes, I looked for the amber lens ones. They didn't have, I looked everywhere. They didn't have any in the flood. So I went ahead and got the white lights. And then once again, just like I did with my ditch lights, I went ahead and got the rigid amber cover to accomplish that goal. So there we go. All right, so we got mounts for both lights. We got our wiring harnesses with these awesome connectors. They're rubberized so that it makes it waterproof. What else we got? We got a rigid sticker, and you can register this online. And also, it has your installation instructions. Just like that. Bam. All right, guys, so next up on the lights that we're going to install on this, I want to have some side lights. You know, something that I'll be able to turn each side on individually. You know, when you're at camp and you need some extra light on the sides of your vehicle. So for these particular lights, I did go with a different company. I went with a cheaper company. Later on, if I decide to, I'll get the expensive lights. But for these side lights, I went with a company on Amazon called Swatow Industries. Okay, let's take a look at what's in the box. Amber LEDs. Seems like some good aluminum there. Doesn't have the nice rigid connector, but that's okay because I got lots of wire. So I went down to AutoZone and got me a couple of spools of wire. So yeah, these are gonna end up here. Let's go look. Take it with me here. Let's go and see where I'd like to put these. I'm thinking they're gonna fit nicely right there. These are T-slots. This is another thing I like about the Wildfinder tent, man. They've got all these T-slots. You can mount all kinds of stuff along here. Whatever you want to do. So that's what we're gonna do with these. I'm not sure how bright they are. We're gonna find out together. All right, so we have a change of plans, as often happens with any project that I do. So these lights right here, I had originally planned for them to go on the side of the vehicle. Problem is the depth of these fins in the back and how short the bracket is. So basically what that means is that I can't mount it like that. And if I have to use those brackets, I would have to, I wouldn't be able to turn them out to the side at all. So these are going to be the chase lights, and these are going to be the lights on the side of the vehicle. And what I've done, okay, I've got these that I had bought for a previous project. And actually, I have them on the back of the 4Runner as to hold my shovel. And I'm putting them right here. Actually, yeah, I ended up, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of dark right here, but I used these to attach my, these rubber pieces that hold my shovel. So what I'm gonna do here, I mean, I could mount those, but they're gonna stick way out. It's not gonna look right. So I have these, and my thought is this: what if I go ahead and mount that there, and then those rigid lights will kind of be under here, but they'll stick out far enough to get the full use of that floodlight pattern. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna mount this up on there and we're gonna see if it works, man. Because if it works, it's gonna be great. It's gonna look good, and let's do it. I think it's gonna work. That feels pretty solid. What do y'all think, huh? Doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Okay. Well, I think that's gonna work just fine. I'm gonna get the other side done too. You do that. All right, guys, so I've done all the wiring. I've got it encased in this wire casing here, zip tied into the inside of the rack so that the wires are protected and they don't show. And now I'm going to use this KC universal wire hider. And we are going to go ahead and install that right along the seam right here. Then we'll be able to route those wires down through it and down into the Auxbeam unit. And then we'll be able to see if we did a good job and if they work. Yeah, this way. We'll be able to run that right down the side of the windshield. Well, small problem, not a big deal. I can add wire to it, but that's the end of my wire. I don't know if it's gonna reach the Auxbeam. It might. We're gonna find out right now. But what I'm gonna do is to fish it through here, I'm gonna be bringing it over. It's gonna come down and go into the engine bay. In order to do that, I'm gonna attach this piece of zip tie that I clipped off earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and tape that to the end of that wire, and that'll make it easier for me to route that and reach in there and grab that zip tie instead of fishing around for the wires. The zip tie is more rigid. It's easier to grab. Right down there. There we go. Okay, next thing we gotta do is see if we got lights. Bam. All right, the next lights we're gonna do is the chase lights. afraid. Good. Positives on the right side, or rather negatives on the right side. You just put it in the port and then you screw it down and it clamps it down on that copper on your wire. All right, it's in there now. Back up. Okay. We should be able to bring our lights up online and see if they both work off of one switch. There's my lights. It says rear. Boom. Bam, just like that, guys. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. All right, guys, last thing that's gonna be going up top here as far as lights go is this Auxbeam 42-inch light bar. 44,000 lumens, they claim about this light bar. I've been putting off a lot of projects for a long time. I've been waiting for a 40-inch light bar from Heretic for 2.5 months. Finally, I just had to, I had to say I can't wait any longer. You know, I was still in the queue. They weren't putting it together and nothing. So I had to go ahead and make a judgment call. Went with this one. It has more raw lumens than the Heretic light bar did, and it's about 1/3 of the cost. If it ends up sucking, I won't feel that bad because it was 1/3 of the cost. So let's unbox this thing. Let's see what we got, and let's get it up there. Wow, really big wiring harness. You can see it's got some switches. We won't be using those. This is all going to be wired into the Auxbeam 8-gang selector that we have. And here's the light bar. There you go. Okay, looks like we got the light bar instruction guide. Auxbeam sticker. You got your hardware. Also got some nice brackets. Those are nice looking brackets, actually. Kind of feels like they might be aluminum. So I'm guessing these are the end brackets, and then these will be supporting brackets. We will find out. All right, so what I want to do now is just get the light up there to kind of see what brackets I'm going to use. So let's get it up there and just take a closer look. I think that'll do just fine. Okay, so if you look here on the end, we obviously won't be able to use the end brackets. So what I think that we're going to end up doing is using those track brackets. I'll show you which ones those are. So if you look here, you'll see a wider open space there where you can slide the T-bolt in. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set up 3 of them, you know, on the outsides and 1 in the middle. And the brackets we're going to use are these guys. And this is how it's going to go on right here. So if you see up here, I've got lots of different slots up here to work with. So it's going to be something like this. And so we'll set up the outside ones, and then this one will be offset from the middle a little bit, but it'll still be in a good spot. And I'll still be able to reach in and tighten my hardware from the back. So that's the plan. So another cool thing that I just found in this bag of hardware, it's got these rubber feet on there, and I'm like, wonder how those fit. So if you look at these, I'm gonna call these elbow brackets, okay, because they're kind of bent like an elbow. Anyway, you'll notice that it's recessed in here in that square shape, and you'll notice that there is just about the same size of square on this rubber foot, and guess what? It fits in there absolutely perfect. So now when you cinch this down on your rack, you're actually cinching down on a nice piece of rubber so that it keeps your rack nice. It doesn't scratch it up. So we got 3 of those. Get those in place. This is going to go here. Put it in like that. Bam. Okay. So here's another cool thing about these L brackets that I didn't know about. Check this out. See how it's got this channel right here? Well, that's so that when you can put this hex bolt here, you drop it in to mount it to the rack. It fits perfectly in the groove and won't turn. So basically, you don't have to get a wrench in there or anything. All you got to do is start tightening it, and it's not going to go anywhere. Very cool. I don't know if I showed you the quality of the connections on this Auxbeam light, but just like my rigid lights, it looks like the same type of connector. It's very nice. And so there's a female, and the male, as you can see, it's got the rubber gasket here, the rubber seal, to make it nice and waterproof. So I have done my research. I'm going to be cutting some of this off. I will be using this down to right here. These 3 are going to connect into my my Auxbeam 8-gang switch panel. So in the interest of keeping as much wire as I can on this, I'm going to cut them down close to this relay box. Okay, there we go. Now we won't be using any of this. That's the advantages to having that 8-gang switch panel. You don't need all this. I'm going to keep it though, because you never know down the road, you know. My wife says I'm a hoarder, but you know what? There's been many times that I reached into the drawer and had exactly what I need. Here's our pigtail off of the light. Here's the connector that I showed you, and got all ready to go here. I'm just gonna connect that. Make a nice click. Yes, I will be zip tying this to this bar right here. Okay. Stander. Looks great. No, buddy. Okay, that is just shy of 33,000 lumens. Auxbeam. Well, I think this is going to wrap up my video with all the upper lights. Let's turn them all on actually. These are rigid lights, rigid pod lights. And here's our chase lights. Super stoked. I'm really happy with that Auxbeam. Man, that is just wicked bright. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes. Wow.